everybody, how are you? Imagine hearing that from your dermatologist. Hi, Bill, are you all right? Yes, I'm fine. No, you're not. Put your clothes back on. I'm calling your family doctor. So, I'm going to share a little bit of Bill's story, our story. And that happened on December the 13th, before Christmas. Bill was in for his annual checkup with his dermatologist, who he's had for over 10 years. And yeah, this is how our journey actually started. A little bit before that, we had a couple of things we were not aware of, and I'm going to share them with you. But keep in mind, this is Bill's story that I'm traveling with him. And so this is not, it's just really important that I really would like everybody to just, if you're listening to it, to know that these things are all very, very personal, and his diagnosis may not look anything like somebody else's diagnosis. And so it's very personal. And I just want everybody to keep that in mind, that, you know, we all handle these things very differently. We all believe in different things that give us comfort. And of course, the medical care we're getting. So keep that in mind. And please, I would really, really appreciate it if, you know, you leave your prayers, you leave the healing energy for us, but no diagnosis, please, or like personal opinions about what he is going through and how it maybe should be done differently. We've already dealt with that just within our own circle. Okay, well, just let me quickly introduce myself. Hi everybody, my name is Liedy. I'm almost 75 years old, like really close, like May the 14th is getting really close. I live just outside of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And thank you for being here. I hope you decide to stay and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. My regular subscribers, how are you all doing? Thank you for being here. I so appreciate the love, the support, and just the fact that you come, because I mean, you never know what you're getting, right? I'm a surprise. I'm like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Okay, well, thank you for being here. And I know we've touched on what's going on with Bill, and I've actually talked to Bill about this. He is fine with me having this conversation and talking about it. I mean, of course, yeah, well, you know, it is what it is. And these things are never easy. And this stuff happens to other people. This doesn't happen to us. So what I'm going to do, because I believe in, I've talked about this before, in having a good mindset and that our words matter. So when Bill and I talk, or talk to the kids, it's not that we have a great sense of reality, but we also, like I said, our words matter and our mindset matters. And so as I'm talking and sharing some of this with you, I'm going to refer to Bill's diagnosis. I'm not going to keep saying the word cancer. I'm just not going to do it, because, you know, it's like I say, it's our words matter, and what we keep hearing over and over again, it's like you're chiseling it into your brain. And so miracles happen all the time. And whatever our miracle may be down the road, we're going to look for something every day that, I don't know, just gives us a chance to have a deep breath and enjoy the moments, and also continue to at least look a little bit into our future and hold on to a few things that we love. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do, instead of going, when I'm talking about the diagnosis, the very first comment below, I'm going to put two links. One was the first diagnosis, how they refer to it, and what they see in general. and then the diagnosis that we received 2 weeks ago, which was a lot more difficult for us, but we are also navigating all of this. All right, so what happened is Bill was having really, really, really heavy duty nosebleeds, like incredible nosebleeds. Talking about waking up in the morning going, oh my gosh, what happened? So anyway, so we had dealt with this for a while, nosebleeds. So people get nosebleeds all the time. And it usually seemed like when he blowed his nose. So that's fairly common, right? Okay, well, it just got really, really bad. And so finally I said, you need to go see our doctor. Now, as you know, we're in Vancouver, just outside of Vancouver. We're in Canada, let's just put it that way. And we have a real shortage of doctors. We are so fortunate to have a doctor. We had a doctor for years where we used to live. Then when we moved, we kept him until we found a doctor about 2 years ago where we used to live. Now we've moved again, but we're very fortunate to have our own physician. Because they get to know you, they get to know, your personality, your concerns, and so forth. So we're very, very fortunate to have a doctor. We have a real shortage. And so I just keep hoping we keep opening our doors and put more doctors in place so everybody can have what we've had so far as care. All right, so went to see our doctor, and Bill went, I didn't go. She said, I'm going to send you to a nose, ear, and throat guy. And so, okay, so Bill got in fairly quickly. This is the great thing about having a physician. You're able to get the referrals that you need. And so Bill went to see this fellow, and he looked at Bill, and he saw he got a little nodule in there. And, they used to do like a little surgery, cauterize it or whatever. He said, we don't do that anymore. It'll just kind of go away, and don't worry about it. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm going, okay. So Bill came home, but again, he still was having these horrendous nosebleeds. Well, anyway, so now it's December the 13th. Bill's having his annual visit with his dermatologist, who's just a really great guy. And he's been incredible through the first 10 days of Bill's process, because he kept calling me and checking up on Bill to see how things were going. And that was so, so awesome of him. So anyway, Bill walks, he's standing in the office, he's got his clothes off, he's standing in the examination room, and I keep wanting to say his name and I won't say his name. So anyway, so the doctor walks in, and he's a very, very good dermatologist, and he takes one look at Bill, and he says, are you all right? And Bill goes, yes. And he goes, no, you're not. Put your clothes back on. I'm calling your physician, your family doctor. Bill thought, what the heck? Anyway, Bill puts his clothes back on. He waits for his dermatologist to come back. And he said to Bill, I want you to go home, and I want you to call your doctor, your family doctor, when you get home. I have talked to her. That was it. And then he said, are you okay to drive? Bill went, yeah. And he says, I don't like the color of you. I don't like how you're looking. No examination, nothing. It just sent Bill out of there. You go home. So anyway, Bill's got about a half-hour drive home. He gets home. This is the Friday. Now the weekend's almost upon us. It's like 3:30 when he gets home. He calls the doctor's office, our family physician, and she's gone. And so Bill said, well, my dermatologist apparently spoke to her, and I'm supposed to be calling her. They said, fine, thank you. We'll let her know, and she'll get back to you. I mean, we're in the dark. We have no idea what's going on. It's so weird. So anyway, that's fine. Lo and behold, 15 minutes later, she's out of town, but she calls Bill. So anyway, so she kind of talked a little bit about the appointment he'd had with the nose, throat, and ear guy. And then she said, well, you know what? She says, I'm going to send you for a blood work. And I'm going to email a requisition. I went, okay, great. Still, we know nothing except he's got to go for blood work. Well, by the time we get the requisition and so forth, there is no labs open at all. So Saturday, no labs are open. Now, as you know, we moved, and we're really, like, literally, we could walk to the hospital from where we are. But the lab is closed to the public on Saturdays and Sundays. They do have a lab there where you can get blood work done, but not on the weekends. So we're going like, oh, okay, well, now what do we do? Because we're starting to feel angst, right? Like there's something going on and nobody, I mean, everybody's like guessing about something. So anyway, so I'm looking and I'm looking because we know Bill's not technical at all. So anyways, I said, Bill, I found a lab. I found a lab that's open from 8 o'clock till noon on Sunday. Anyway, so we can't even make an appointment. So we're there at 8 o'clock in the morning. Bill, we're out of there by 8:35. Like we didn't have to wait very long. We got the blood work. Next thing we know, the phone rings and it's our doctor, our family physician. And she's saying, she's talking to Bill and Bill's not quite grabbing it all. I'm not even, he does wear hearing aids. I don't know what he's not hearing or whatever. So I do hear him saying, oh, well, you know, she's telling him that he needs to go to emergency, but she was sending him to the hospital where we used to live. So Bill said to her, well, you know, this is where we live now. And we're like literally across the street from the hospital. Could I go there? And she said yes. But then he handed me the phone because I don't know what the miscommunication he felt he was having. Anyway, so she said to me, Liedy, I need you to take him to emergency. I'm calling ahead. Bill needs blood transfusions. What? I mean, I was in shock. We were in shock. So I said, well, you know, like I'm hustling now because I'm going, there's something really going on we don't know about. But what she did say is they came back as a critical lab report. So when a critical lab report, that means get your foot off the brake and start moving. So anyway, so we get to the hospital. And of course, the system's a little funny. Like everybody likes to be acknowledged. So we're standing there and I'm saying, our family doctor apparently is called ahead and my husband got a critical lab report and she's called for blood transfusions. And so the fellow sitting there was not very nice. And of course, we're panicked and he's going, no, you know, because it's changed now. Our system's changed. Your own family physician used to be able to, you know, come and do the rounds in the hospital and sort of be in charge of their patient as they were going through the system. Now we've very much got it like in the US, as far as now they have hospital doctors, the hospital. And the only reason I know that is because I've been in the hospital twice when we still had our place down south. So anyway, so he was a little bit, you know, whatever, but I guess then somebody else got involved and then it was rush. So anyway, we got in right away and then the hospital doctor came and looked at Bill and pulled up all the lab work and all the reports. And he got 2 blood transfusion and a bag of platelets. And then he was there for 20 days. And we were really, it was like, nobody knew what was wrong with them. I think after about 10 days or something like that, they started sending his blood to a hematologist. And that's all they said was a hematologist over town. But it was actually, it's probably the only time I'm going to say it, it was actually a hematologist at the cancer clinic. And so they were going through all the blood work, whatever. And when you have a blood disease or a bone marrow disease, an hematologist from the cancer clinic is probably the best person you can have and to be working with. Anyway, I'm going to say probably about day 15, they took Bill, transported him to the hospital that has the big clinic, the big CC clinic, and they did a bone marrow extraction and then brought him back to the hospital. Oh, that was at another hospital. It'll get complicated here. Anyway, so they had their suspicions. They had their suspicions that this was MDS. I'll link that down below. That'll be the very first comment that I've got pinned. And that kind of gave us a clearer picture of what it was, although we were still very much in the dark because MDS is different for everybody. You can get this in your 40s and 50s and have a life expectancy of 10 to 15 years. This is an older person's disease, where older people are far more afflicted by this than younger. So anyway, Bill was in there for 20 days, and I think while he was in the hospital, with the exception, I believe, of 2 days, he got a blood transfusion every single day. And then he would also get plasma and then platelets. So it was, yeah, that's where he had to be. And we just had to wait. We were in the dark. The one thing we wanted to make sure is they were getting ready to discharge Bill, but we wanted to make sure that all the appointments that he was going to need in order to follow through to find out exactly what did he have and how severe is it, that all the appointments were set up. And they did do that. They came in and said that he had an appointment at the clinic where they would follow up, the cancer clinic. Ugh. Anyway, since they knew they had MDS, but they didn't know how severe it was. The only possible cure for this, if it worked, would be a bone marrow transplant. Unfortunately, after the age of 70, this is not a good thing to do. I think there are some places in the world that will do it, but normally it is such a severe process that a lot of older patients don't even survive the preparation of it. It's where they just have to like kill everything in your body, all the bone marrow, blood, everything. And it's huge. So anyway, we already knew, so we knew that. So then the other thing was that there was this, like, you know how you can get different diagnoses and it'll be like stage 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they don't have, it's a different kind of stages with this MDS, and what it is it's very low, intermediate, high, and very high. And Bill was kind of in the middle, a little bit towards the higher side, but in the middle. So who knows, right? I mean, it's time and year, like how fast things progress. And we're just of sound mind that everybody's different. Just because people tell you it's so, it doesn't mean it has to be so. So let's just keep our mindset really strong and, and say, well, maybe that's them and not us. Who knows? I mean, you got to keep hope. And so Bill came home. We had an appointment at the clinic, and we got a lovely doctor. She's wonderful. She sat and explained everything to us, and the diagnosis definitely wasn't great. We're definitely not on the never plan. But if somebody said, hey, you know what, 2 years, 3 years, just in this time frame from the time Bill was diagnosed to now, we know 2 people that very suddenly passed away. So, and like I say, these are things we can't control. And so we were feeling very lucky that we were given some time here to deal with it. And then who knows, maybe, what are they going to give us for treatment? So Bill is on his 3rd round of chemo. And they've had to cut it back a bit because it was just doing too good of a job, because chemo is just not a good thing to have to do. But he's really actually reacted really well, but it's been working too well, so they had to cut him back a bit, because you don't want to all the good guys in there, you don't want to knock them off. So anyway, 2 weeks ago they got some of that bone marrow test back. That took 3 months to get those tests back. They're very, very in depth, like little windows and markers and all of that. They wanted to get more information on the strain that Bill had. I guess this particular test takes it in different directions, and the news was not good. And so it's changed everything for us. But there's some things it hasn't changed at all. And it's, you know, it's a journey. You have no idea what it's like till you're in it. Nobody can explain it. Nobody can tell you what it feels like. It's just, you know, you're either in it or you're watching, and then you absolutely cannot relate to it. And we are still staying positive. Bill has some bad days, you know, where he's just tired, and then I have to adjust myself because, you know, just leave him. Don't talk to him. Just let him rest. And we're sort of in a place like, I'll call you, don't call me, and that's okay. Like, don't take that personally. There are times where that's kind of tough because, you know, you want to do something for that person. But you know what? He planned a golf game for Thursday. He's going to go, he's got the guys lined up, and he's going to go and have a golf game. I am so happy. His last golf game of the season was 83. And, oh, he was just beating himself up terribly because that just wasn't good enough. He likes to shoot in the, you know, an 80 or below. And that I'm going, come on, are you kidding me? There are guys, our son, who's what, 43, I mean, it's like he says he would give anything to shoot an 83, thank you. But I'm just really, really glad. Of course, he's got his concerns. Am I going to hit the ball like I normally do? And I said to him, you know what? At least you're going to be out there with the guys, riding around in the golf cart, fresh air. That is really good. So we're really into doing the best that we can do with what we've been given. And we're not going to just not give in to what they say it's supposed to be. We're not going to give in how it's supposed to look. There's things we don't do. I mean, we're not going to busy places. Bill's virtually has no immune system, so we just kind of have to create our own party or whatever. Our friends around us and our family, they know they're feeling good. That's great. They're coming over. But if they're not coming over. This is it's such a crazy thing. It absolutely changes everything in your life. The one thing, and I think we all feel this way, when we were talking, and he said, because we both have a belief, might not be your belief, but we have a belief. And I think that's the one thing about the aging process. I think it's a wonderful thing to have something that gives you peace, that says, hey, you know what, if tomorrow never comes, I'm at peace. And it was kind of, you know, and I think this is really funny because we repeated this to somebody, and we kind of went, Bill and I just kind of chuckled and said, well, isn't this what everybody says? And Bill said, I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to do it right now. Not right now. I'm busy. I still got stuff to do. So don't wait. Do the things that you want to do. And I know how difficult it can be because life, money, things get in the way. But if there's any way you can possibly make something happen, do it. Do it. I'm working on it. I don't know if I can make it happen. Bill's always wanted to take a train trip. And when I immigrated to Canada back in the 60s, we took the train from Montreal across Canada to Vancouver. Now, I don't think we're going to take it right across the country, but I thought, well, maybe if I could get the train to Calgary and back again. It's supposed to be beautiful. So I'm going to see if that's something that's doable, you know, because it's financial. You got to figure all that out as well. Now, the only thing I must say, we are so, so fortunate because, as you know, in Canada, we have medical care for everybody. And all of these blood transfusions, plasma, platelets, doctors, all the specialists, the medications, the chemo that Bill is on is $1,000 a pill. He takes 5 a month. costs us nothing. Having said that, our medical care is paid for through our taxes. So we've been paying. I've been working many, many years, and so has Bill. So we have, since it came into place, been paying towards it. And it really needs to, like I say, it needs to get better. But I cannot imagine if we had huge medical bills on top of this. So I feel very blessed. So now you're pretty well caught up on what's happening with us, and happening to Bill, but happening to both of us. It is such a journey. This man has been just, you know, Bill and I got married when I was 43, and he was 49. And we've been married 32 years this year. And I'll be forever grateful that he is the man that I married that said, you're okay. You're okay who you are, and you're allowed to be you. So anyway, that's another story. So yeah, it's you know, these things are never easy, but like I say, if you're aging and going through the process like we are, to be able to live and have a great life is wonderful. It's always going to be how we make it and how we see it. But to have your health is everything, absolutely everything. And I am very grateful for all the support, all the medical care that we're getting, that we're not burdened with any big bills to receive that kind of care. And yeah, it's just, you know what, we just got to keep looking for all the moments in the 24 hours and then start again the next day. And like I said before, living in the moment has never been more real in our lives than it is right now. So it makes you pay attention to every word you say. Not just that it's a positive word, that it's a word that is spoken with caution and a good mindset, but that it's also a time to really speak your heart, to really share those moments that you don't, mean what you say and say what you mean. So anyway, now I've kind of explained it to you. I'll keep you up to date. Like I say, right now, we're just doing the best that we can with what we have, and we just never ever give up. We just savor every moment. And like I say, the healing process, well, like when these things get announced to us, they say your mindset, your attitude is everything. Everything. And that's where we're staying at. Everything. That who knows how the healing process and our thoughts can take us to a better place. I'll keep you informed. The links are down below. And yeah, it's a long video. So you guys, that's what's going on in our household. And we're not the only household. I know many of you that come here and we talk in the comments have already traveled this journey, are going through this journey, and I pray that you may never go through this journey. But I love how we support each other and the love that comes through. So having said that, this is where we're at. I'll keep you up to date every now and then on what's happening, and we'll just get back to doing what I do on YouTube, and that is like eating a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You guys, thank you so much. Bill thanks you as well. Like I said, he knew I was doing this. If you want to leave him a message, you want to send him some hugs, absolutely, please do so, because I do read them to him, and sometimes we get a chuckle out of some of the comments. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here, and remember, there is no future in our past. Bring all the wonderful memories all the really hard lessons and live in the moment, but don't be afraid to dream and imagine. Thanks for being here. Love you.